Hey everyone, this is Trish Kane with Healerverse, and I'm interviewing Antonia with Divine Empowerment today. We met at Mind, Body, Spirit in Birmingham, and then we reunited in London. And we had so many fun talks. We were laughing about basically going off grid, which is not really off grid, but and living
Your version of off grid is just like a house in the country.
exactly.
Do you know what off grid means? It's like having like no gas, electricity. You have to have a generator. You have to have your own water supply. You're using a well. And then I ascertained that she wanted to have a big house in the country with all the big ponds. That was her version of growing off grid. And apparently that is off grid for a New Yorker.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh. And we really just hit it off right away. We're having so much fun. So I really wanted to bring Healerverse to Antonia and Antonia to Healerverse and introduce her to all of you guys. As you know, there's millions of different healing modalities and healers out there. And I really wanted everybody to be able to find out what's out there. She is a most amazing healer. She's in the UK, actually. Obviously, she lives there. And she has quite the resume, if you want to call it that, of different modalities and also life. She's lived such an amazing life so far. And yeah, I'm going to let her take it from here. If you want to introduce yourself and some of the things you're working on right now.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name's Antonia Harmon from Divine Empowerment. I'm the founder of a healing school and a healing modality, which is really badass. There are so many amazing things out there, and I try to use wisdom from a lot of different things because there's so much wisdom and learning. And I try to cherry pick the best bits of a lot of different things to bring everything together as one, to be able to be as comprehensive and healing as possible. So I think we're all gods and goddesses who forgot how epic we truly are. And I've spent the last 20 years largely in a trance state, awakening my latent abilities, latent superpowers that we've all got, you included, everyone watching at home. So I think that's what it is. So for me, enlightenment is a losing game. You lose the things which are preventing you from being enlightened. So I awaken people's superpowers intrinsically, and I do it pretty much instantly. And I remove the gunk which is preventing your superpowers from being found and being known. And I spent a lot of the last 20 years in a trance state, completely off my noodle in a different dimension, absolutely exhausted to the point where I can't leave the house for days, weeks, months at a time. I have been and the amount of physical pain in my body has been excruciating. And then I come around and then I have more superpowers. So it's really worth it, and it's super fun, but it's literally flicking a switch in people, and then they can do really interesting stuff. One of the examples I was just doing with a friend of mine yesterday, because I just went out for dinner with a new friend, and she had some champagne. We had a bottle of champagne, and I was like, oh, I can just teach you how to change the taste of that champagne to a different champagne. So we had a decent champagne, but I was she's quite fancy. So I was like, right, this one was Moet. And I said, okay, well, I'll teach you how to change that one. I said, you change that one into Dom Perignon Reserve, and then this one into Cristal Vintage. And so I got her to change them. And then her brain was just like, oh my goodness, this just tastes like these specific fancy champagnes. So that's just a little party trick that I have. And that's one of the energies in level 1. But I teach people how to dissolve traumas is the beginning, but my goodness, the new stuff is really
Wow. That's amazing, literally. So I was at another event in London, and somebody took my water bottle, which was warm, and downloaded downloads into it and turned it cold.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's cool. I didn't know that.
I'll have to introduce you to
Wow.
him.
That's really cool. I
Yeah.
should have my book. I don't have my book. I'm just going to grab my book.
Yes, I wanted to definitely talk about your book too.
Right here. I just needed to find it. It's right here.
No
We'll get into
worries.
this in a minute. I just wanted to have it local. Yeah, so that's really cool. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to work that out. I'm into that.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that down and work that out. I'm going to figure out how to download Make Water Cold. I'm down.
I feel like if anyone could do it, you could do it. Seriously.
Oh, I'll have it by the end of the week.
Definitely. It's like the power of the mind. You know what I mean? The power of the mind. And there are so many like limiting beliefs in society, and people around us kind of like molded us. And I love that you're talking about coming back to the true essence of yourself, the true who you truly are, before things get skewed.
Yeah, I just think we've got powers beyond. They are locked up, and they are. I think there's a whole 26,000 year cycle which we are going through, and we're coming into the golden age. People may be aware of, and I think that it's just the unlocking of our abilities. And I've been doing it for so long, and I've unlocked so many wild abilities. And I'm very results driven. I want things to work and things to be just fast and mind blowing in lots of different ways. So, and I want them to be consistent, because I find some healing modalities aren't very consistent. And I think if you're consistent, there's more to learn. I really do find inconsistency troubling. So the stuff that I do works first time, every time. When you're dissolving, some diseases are quite difficult to do, but emotional trauma, which is where I started, I'd literally delete the emotions. So the facts remain, but your attachment to it, the emotions attached to it, has completely gone. So you think about it and it's just like, oh, you don't care about it anymore, but it is factual. Because I worked on what diseases are. I'll tell you what diseases are, because that's really cool since I've come in from this angle. Okay, diseases come in three categories: a gas, a liquid, and a solid. Gas-based diseases are thought-based diseases. So when you hang around somebody who's sad or angry or upset, you spend 5 minutes with them, 5 seconds with them even, they're radiating it. They're radiating their mood. If they're in love, you can feel it. If they're upset, you can feel it. You walk into a room after an argument and you can cut the air with a knife, you can feel it, right? It's like a gas. Emotions like a gas hanging around people or spaces. So what happens is, that gets compressed. Enough gas compressed, it becomes a liquid, right? So it's the reason that a gas becomes a liquid is because it cools down and it slows down. And if you put it into a finite space, then enough gas into a finite space will eventually become a liquid. And that's when you get liquid-based diseases. And it goes to your thoughts are generating the illness, and where it goes in your body is dependent on your thoughts. So for example, backaches about not feeling supported. So all of your feelings of not feeling supported goes to your back, and it becomes compressed like that into a liquid. And chronic pain behaves like a fluid. Sometimes it's a 10 out of 10, sometimes it's a 2 out of 10. It goes up, down, left, right. It sort of splashes around the body and moves its location. It's a liquid-based disease. Then you've got a solid base. Another liquid-based disease would be a cyst. A cyst is a literal ball of fluid, and all diseases fit into my three categories: a gas, a liquid, or a solid. So a solid-based disease is more compression, more compressed thoughts, which is the gas. Enough compressed gas becomes a solid, becomes like steam will become ice if you compress it enough. And that's when you get the really difficult diseases like cancers and any of those really hard diseases. You press a tumor, it actually feels like a little rock or a big rock. It's hard as anything. And it is just compressed thought. Disease is compressed trauma and thoughts. So I work to delete the emotions behind things.
Amazing. Wow, that's the first time I ever heard of it like that, with like
I invented that.
I love that.
I worked that out. This is in my book. This is the last chapter of my book.
Amazing. So first of all, congratulations on your book launch. You literally just launched that, like a month ago?
In May. I think we're in July.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm like, that's the thing. Cause I haven't spoken to you now in a few months. Time flies, right? It just goes. Yeah. Congratulations. Big congratulations. And how's it going with everything?
It's good. The book was interesting. It was challenging, but writing a book, and I did it really, really fast, and yes. It was a bit wild to get it done for Mind, Body, Spirit. I got the chapter in about solid, liquid, gas, which I'm really, really happy about, because they didn't want to put it in. and I wanted it in. There was a bit of toing and froing with that, which was interesting. But I got it, and I managed to convince them that it was very, very important to explain what diseases truly are, because I've worked that out, and there's a whole chapter on it. But this is not the only time you've got things which work like this. The gas, liquid, solid, master of solid, liquid, gas, liquid, solid means that you are basically a god. If you can do that, then you can do pretty much anything. Because, okay, let's just look at one example people would be familiar with. Walking on water. For you, Trish, and for everyone at home, think about the answer to this. What is solid water?
Ice.
You're damn straight.
I love you so much.
How do you walk on water?
You freeze
You make it into ice. You're damn straight you do.
You're so fabulous.
That's the answer to that problem.
So
Thank
good.
you.
So good.
So that's the answer. If you have master of solid, liquid, gas, you can manifest anything, because you can go ba-dum, and you can get apple, gold bar, whatever you want to just appear in your hand, and you can instantly dissolve any disease because you'll just vaporize it. Mastery of that is everything. So another example from history. So the sword and the stone.
Yes. Yes.
So the sword and the stone is a great story. So imagine what the story was, and what the origin was there was no one worthy of being the King of England, and they wanted the worthy person to be able to become the King of England. And what we used to do in the good old days is have the most enlightened person was in charge. Now it's the least enlightened person. I think we could all agree.
That's on purpose, though. That's on purpose, though.
I know.
But
okay, so they had the most enlightened person. So what they did, so it said whoever pulls this sword from the stone should become the King of England, which is the most enlightened person. So when you're enlightened, you have mastery, a god, enlightened, same thing, like proper enlightened, not this wishy-washy enlightened, like real enlightened. Those you're a god. In my standard of enlightenment are very, very high. So how do you do that? So Merlin, so how do you get a sword in a stone, or a sword out of a stone? You need to liquefy the stone, put the sword in, keep the stone solid, liquefy the stone, make it into a gel, stick it in, and then unmake it into it. So Merlin was enlightened, so he could do that. And then he just managed to liquefy the stone, or make the stone into a gel, and pull the sword out of it. This happens in tornadoes. Tornadoes do it as well. What happens is you can have a plank of wood which embeds in the tornado with a torsion field, with a spin, into a brick wall, and then they completely merge with each other. It doesn't get broken. It's just literally becomes part of the wall. They've done it in Princeton in 1982. They did a study where they made matter soup, and they liquefied I think it was metal or stone or a variety of different things by super cooling it and putting a magnet on it, and then it makes the atoms behave like a soup, and they sort of move around in a soup-like consistency. It's possible. That's master of solid, liquid, gas. You get that, you can literally do it. You become a god. You can manifest anything, dissolve anything, sort anything out. So that I got in the book.
I love these metaphors too. Like, honestly,
metaphors, they're literal.
Oh, you know what I mean? Of course.
They're examples from nature, which are real things, which are, incredible that this is where it's happened. And if you look at, I don't know if you know, in Tibet, in one of the home of Tibetan Buddhism, there is, I can't pronounce the name, it's in the book, but there's a guy that put his hands into stone. They've got handprints, full on. He managed to liquefy the stone and put his hands into the stone and his feet into the stone. And it's this amazing place that people go and do a pilgrimage to. There's a few places around the world that do that. And we're paying homage to that with the Hollywood Walk of Fame, because they put their hands into the concrete, and it's like they're enlightened, but obviously they're using concrete, which is liquefied at that time. It's about that.
See, I'm just like envisioning too, like if you can, which obviously you can do, just liquefy the disease or change the composite.
I'm working on it. I can do liquid-based diseases. I'm pretty consistent with. Solid-based diseases are I'm not I hit and miss. I'm not consistent with solid-based disease. I don't think anyone on the planet is consistent with solid-based diseases, but liquid-based diseases I'm pretty consistent with. I mean, I worked on someone the other day, which was interesting. The video is coming out tonight, so it'll be But today is the 26th of July. I'm not sure when this video is going out, but there's a video going out tonight, which was this lady who had osteoarthritis, severe osteoarthritis. And I worked on her and I dissolved the emotions which caused it, because I have a textbook that tells you the emotions behind diseases, which is just fantastic. This is the
Amazing.
textbook for that. It's an amazing book. And she was talking at the Mind Body Spirit, Yvette Rose. She had a talk with me with her. She was amazing. So I read the textbook and then I did my new work on her. I deleted the emotions associated with it and did the new work, which we'll get to in a minute.
Ooh.
And her osteoarthritis was gone. She did a 9-kilometer walk and realized she didn't have any pain. And that was 6 days after the treatment. It was completely gone. Her pain's completely gone.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah. So many of us healers became healers because we healed ourselves, you know?
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
that's
you
one
did.
way that people do it. I didn't. I
course
was not a wounded healer. I've got too much work to do to come in and have to deal with all of that stuff as well. Like a lot of people have had, most healers that I know anyway, have had a lot of trauma and then did learn to heal themselves. And so then they went down the road of healing. I've got too much to do to start on myself. That would take years if I came in with the level of trauma. I'm going hell for leather to bring new stuff through. I had an Akashic record reading done, which said I was from 200 or 300 years in the future. I've incarnated backwards to bring this new stuff in. I'm basically the Terminator of healing.
I love that. I love that. Seriously, I meet the most amazing healers. My other friend carries instant healings too. And I actually call on him often. So I've only known him for a couple months now. We met on LinkedIn of all places. And he does instant healings. He helped my dog. He helped me because I'm under a lot of pressure very often, and a lot of it is self-imposed, but also like I'm an Aquarius sun. Like I have so much weight on my shoulders trying to fix the whole world. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh my God. And perfectionism is a serious troublesome event in my life, a reoccurring event, you know what I mean? And not even perfectionism. I guess it's just like, I want things my way. Is that too much to ask for?
Control freak.
Something like that. But yeah, like he does instant healings. He helped my dog. My dog used to stand up in the car and now he sits down. I'm like, sometimes it's like too, like just somebody just telling you that you're powerful, you're amazing, like simply. Because also when a lot of us have done so much work on ourselves, we just need the reminder that we are amazing, like simply. Yeah.
I don't know. I believe in magic, and I believe magic brings everything through. So
Yeah.
sometimes you just need a bit of a confidence thing, but I think it's more like get the crap out of you rather than, I think the confidence is in people, but we have these self-deprecating thoughts or demons telling us all sorts of nonsense, and you just need to get rid of those bastards and then you're all right.
Exactly. And that involves practicing mindfulness for sure. Like, damn, like, like just being mindful all day, like all day.
That sounds like hard work. No, it means just getting rid of all the no. That's one way of doing it. No, I think people do things a long way around, and mindfulness is a way of doing it, but I don't think it's a shortcut. My whole thing is working smarter, not harder. What I do is I actually delete the emotional traumas, which are okay. I think
do it to me. Do it to me.
1 second. Let me tell you what it is. Okay. I'll do a demonstration as well. Okay, so I think we're cannon fodder for multidimensional beings who feed on our emotional energy. I literally think that we are not top of the food chain. They say all sorts of nonsense to us. They feed on our emotional energy. They bully us. And so we get upset and they feed on the emotional energy. So I can work in a few different ways. If you actually get rid of all of the traumas that you've got in your system and spring clean all of that, which I can do, my practitioners can do. I teach all this stuff. You can learn how to dissolve traumas from level 1. But I just plug my laptop in. So don't. But I can either like go through people's traumas and work through all their traumas individually and dissolve whatever's going on, or I can do huge things in one go and people can just play like a movie montage of their life, and I can dissolve loads of things all in one blast. Or in a short version, which we can do now, I can just put a force field between you and your thoughts and dissolve, and I can do it, and it'll work on the video so other people following at home can do it too.
Yeah.
And then I'll just separate you. It's literally a force field between you and these beings. you and these things which are feeding on you, and it will hold for a few hours and you'll have a quiet mind. Should we do it now? Let's do
Yeah,
it.
it would be so good for everybody to see. Yes.
Yes, it's a little demonstration.
Crystals
All right,
or
so
no
just please.
crystals. Crystals or no crystals.
Doesn't matter. Whatever you want, babes. Yeah, doesn't matter to me.
Amazing.
All right, so just close your eyes, everyone. And I'll just give you a minute to notice how chatty your mind is right now. Okay, now I'm going to start putting the force field up. Okay, force field up. So just sit there for a moment and see how you feel. Then we'll have a little chat.
I felt all the pressure removed from my head.
Is your brain like quiet now?
Yeah. But also, like, I didn't realize I had so much tension in my head, and I felt it get removed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was like pressure in there, and it's gone.
And the chatter should be quiet now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's just, yeah. So look, mindfulness, look, there are loads of different ways to skin a cat, but for me, I'm just working smarter, not harder. I live in walking meditation. So I don't practice mindfulness because I live in walking meditation. There is zero chatter in my brain. But my internal monologue shut off one day and never came back. But it was quite painful. It was weird. It just suddenly just disappeared out of my head, and I can just literally hear my own thoughts or God's wisdoms. And if I was reading, I literally went from Piccadilly Circus, Grand Central Station for your American friends. I'll talk in American just in case.
No, Piccadilly Circus is amazing.
Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, just a really busy train station. That's fine, whatever, wherever anyone's from. So it was just super noisy. And then it went to completely dead silent, and I couldn't have it, and I had no thoughts in my head. I couldn't think at all. That was just zero anything. So if I wanted to think, across the road, I had to say it look left, look right. I had to I couldn't think at all. Make a cup of tea, I'd had to mutter it. So I had to wear headphones every time I went out of the house, whether it's just like a crazy person talking to themselves at the time. There was no thoughts in my head whatsoever. And if I would read anything, I would have to read it out loud. I couldn't read in my head. And if I started to try and read in my head, I had a shooting pain from the base of my spine explode in my brain. I couldn't read at all.
Oh, wow.
For ages. I had months of that. And now my brain is just quiet. So I went from one side to the other side. So now I am in walking meditation. So I also think meditation is helpful for people, but I think there's more advanced stuff than that. And I can get people in my level 1 class deeper than the deepest meditation. I had a meditation teacher, and she got deeper in a few minutes than she'd ever been in meditation. There's new tech. Meditation's old tech and it works. There's new stuff which is faster.
Yes.
If you want to be doing things faster, I just think there's a 1,000,000-piece puzzle, and people are only doing a few pieces in 1,000,000-piece puzzle. So many pieces to it. So let's get the basics right. Let's make things easier and faster, and then we can go and do the bigger stuff. And my goodness, I've got the biggest stuff. But I should tell you about 3 and 5D wizards versus witches.
Yes.
We discussed this just before. Okay.
Yes.
I call myself a wizard. There's a reason I call myself a wizard. I am wearing a magical dress today.
I love your magical dress.
It's kind of cute, isn't it?
It's so cute. Yes, it is.
Okay, so a witch is someone who's using 3D magic. It can be a boy or a girl, or there can be warlocks, but it's not really gender related, although sometimes a male witch is called a warlock, but it doesn't really matter either way. But what they're doing is they're doing something called 3D magic, which is what's been on the planet for a long time and is amazing in so many different ways. And what they're doing is using an intermediary to help them do the work. Maybe they're using a crystal or an angel or a card or a spell or a potion or a technique or steps or something, which is what most people do. They are using something or a coven or whatever it is to help you focus your power and focus your attention and understanding and to make things happen. Use some intermediary to help it make it happen. That's 3D stuff. The new stuff, the golden age stuff, the future stuff, the 5D stuff is wizardry. Now, the difference is I awaken you to your God self. You are able to do it without having to use any tools or techniques or methods apart from having awoken them and just intending to do them. You do it solely by intention. That's the new style of magic. And it's because we are gods and goddesses and we don't need the tools once we've awoken them within ourselves.
I love that. Yeah, sometimes it's nice to like have a crystal out just for like ritualistic purposes. They're pretty, they feel good, you know what I mean? But like to be able to do it instantaneously is definitely the magic that we need.
Look, I've got huge angel wings. Did you see the angel wings? I didn't buy them in Birmingham. Oh my God. They're like 8-foot tall angel wings, amethyst.
Amethyst.
It's like 8-foot tall angel wings and amethyst. And I've got a bar in my house made of labradorite with gold leaf in between it with set in resin. It's an organite. That's a huge labradorite organite bar. So, you know, I love a crystal, but I don't
it's just nice. Yeah, totally. It's just nice. I honestly like, I haven't really done anything with crystals. I just like them. I just like them. Like, I don't really know what's good for what. Like, I know this is good for protection, right? And I have one in my bag. And
selenite. Yeah, I've got a selenite, I think.
And amethyst is my birthstone, so I rather enjoy it. But yeah, and it's just pretty. Purple is Healerverse too, like all things purple. So funny story, when I was a kid, everybody asked me what my favorite color was, and every girl said pink, so I said purple because I wanted to be different. And then I got everything purple as a kid, and I like don't even like I love the color highlighter purple, and that's why that's kind of like our logo. But yeah, I mean regular purple, it's nice, but regular purple.
You've got like this is purple. You're like scrunchy or pink. It's kind of purple.
So I'm trying to be more feminine. Because I've been in my masculine for so many years, and that's actually one of the things I've been working on is like tapping into my divine feminine goddessness, and it feels good. It feels good. Much more at home. Yeah. Much more at home here when I tap into this. Sometimes I'll trickle back into my masculine. I'm like, oh, but this feels better.
I think it's good to just be able to be in both. And so I think different things, I like flipping between them because I think sometimes there are different things which are called for. And, you know, being proactive in getting things done. Like there is one side where you're, you know, supposed to be attracting, which is the feminine. And sometimes there's the doing as well. I don't know. I flip around.
Me too. Sometimes it just feels good to rest. You know what I mean? Rest and receive and just be like, okay, I'm a feminine goddess and just chill.
Yeah, but I mean, it does worry me some there is an element to it, which is right, but there are also, you know, manifesting works when you go and you start doing the work. You know, you have to be ready for these things, and having done the work, then to be able to receive. It's not, and you have to do the work on yourself, but also do the work to achieve whatever it is. You know, it's with the best will in the world. If you were just sitting on your laurels and hadn't done any work towards it on yourself, you can't really expect to be winning like infinite amount of monies and things like that. You need to be doing the work. And there is a reason why people who win the lottery lose their money. They spend it and they lose it because they haven't done the work on themselves, even though the money's come in, to have the self-worth to be able to look after it properly. They don't feel like they deserve it largely. And then they end up spending it and all these frivolous things and end up back to being where they started. That happens a lot.
My dad has a friend that won the lottery twice.
How much did he win?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago, but he literally won twice. Like,
did he lose it all?
have no idea. That's the only part of the story I know. Oh my gosh. Isn't that
Well, I mean, the
funny
thing is, it depends. I mean, I don't know. I think you have to win over. Yeah, I mean, how much is winning the lottery? You can win £3 and
I
it's not
think
really
no,
going
I
to change
think
your life.
it was a lot, whatever it was. It was like the lottery, like the New York State lottery.
But like millions.
Yeah, it was millions. Yeah, twice.
Did he lose it in between or what
I have
happened?
no idea. You know what? I'm seeing my dad this weekend. I'm gonna ask him.
I need an
I'm gonna
update on
send
this.
you a message. I'll update you.
I need an update. I think everyone needs an update on this. We'll have to do a
Everyone
third
needs an
issue.
update on this. It's yep, he's from Long Island, New York. And I don't even know who he is, but you know how like you hear those stories and you're like, wow, like I mean, as far as like the abundance of the lottery and the money, it's like whatever. It's just cool. Like I like cool stories.
Me
I love
too.
stories. Yeah, I love stories. Tell me all the stories.
I've got stories. Well, new
Love
stories.
the
Okay, my new
stories.
stuff is really
Yes.
cool.
Let's talk about that. I'm
Let's
excited.
talk
By
about
the way,
that.
everybody, I'm excited. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm looking forward to this. Yep.
I think you and I were just very excitable together. We're
I
like little
know.
babies
You
here.
should see us in person.
We just giggle at each other a lot
I know.
about nonsense.
I miss you. I can't wait to see you. I know.
Alrighty, so the new stuff that I'm doing is really exciting. So I've hacked cellular regeneration. So my dear friend Lisa had a fight with a blender. She literally stuck her hand in a blender and she mangled her fingers. Bless her. So she totally mangled her finger and it was really bad. So she went to the doctor and she had stitches and she had to have them like the bandages replaced every couple of days, every day, and then every couple of days. And then as time went on, there were less and less for that. And after a month, her finger went necrotic. So this is cell death. This is when it goes black. It's like gangrene or frostbite or leprosy. When your skin goes black, that's dead, and that's rotting flesh intrinsically. And there's no going back from it. Like it's just you're done. So in the good old days, they would have had to amputate it. In more recent times, it's not as bad as that, but they would have done skin grafts. So they'd have to, take skin from other places and replace it and try to get her finger to grow back or not grow back to replace it. Anyway, so she tells me this and is understandably upset about it and tells me because we were recording a video because we do videos quite regularly anyway. And she told me that her finger was necrotic and I went, oh. And I went, right, well, I just been watching these videos about these guys who were working on cellular voltage. Now, this guy had, this is a wild experiment. He thought, salamanders, they grow their legs back. How do salamanders do that? So he cut the leg of a salamander and he thought he'd record and monitor the electrical surges and properties just in current around his leg. And he did. And interestingly, it was a surge of energy than a pulsing. So he mimicked that and cut a frog's leg off and mimicked the electrical current around the frogs. And to his utter disbelief, the frog's leg grew back too. So he thought, ooh, there's some electrical current stuff, which is doing something, which is really interesting. There was another guy who started looking into voltage, and he said, if you have minus 70 to 90 millivolts, you're in super good health. If you're minus 30 to 50 millivolts, then you are poorly. And if you are 20, then you've got some horrible disease like cancer or something like that. So I thought, if I raise the cellular voltage in her, because I was looking at her finger and it was around minus 20 millivolts. And I said, if I raise the cellular voltage in her finger, will that improve her? Will that get better? Is there anything that I can do for this? So I invented a new energy on the spot to try to raise the cellular voltage of her finger. And I managed to raise it and she could feel movement in her finger and energy moving around. And it was all bandaged so she couldn't see it. She went to the doctor a week later and it was no longer necrotic. Wow. It was no longer black. it went back to flesh colored. And it was a few months ago now. It's about 5 months ago, I think. And it's got a scar across it, but it's completely regenerated on the inside. It was kind of hollow, but it's regenerated.
I need
So
to meet her. I need to meet Lisa.
yeah, you can meet Lisa. She does loads of videos. She's got a good Rumble channel as well. She's got a bit of a following. I'll introduce you. So
Yeah.
anyway, so Lisa's really interested with that. So then I thought at the same time, well, if I do Lisa, I may as well do myself at the same time, because why not? So I started raising my own cellular voltage. And it's really interesting because my voltage is increasing and getting better. And really interestingly, my face has reverse aged significantly. And I've got the energy that I had in my 20s. Like I've got pictures before and after, and my wrinkles, let me see if I can show you on the screen.
Yes, get that up, and I'm gonna get your birth chart up really quick.
Yeah, we can do that too. So if anyone can see, I don't know if that, okay, you can probably see it there, I think. So if you look at this eye here, there's a downward like bit there, and the crinkles on my nose and how deep my wrinkles are there, and then the bit around my face there. If I do that same smile, I don't have that downward bit there. It's completely gone. Like it goes down all the way there. The crinkles on my nose, like this is a bigger smile as I can do. That's even a bigger smile. I can't even make that smile. That's a smile. Like that's completely flattened out. These are less deep. My lips are thicker. Like that, but that one, because that goes all the way down there. It doesn't do that anymore. Like that is pretty insane. Yeah. It's a lot younger.
Yes, I've been reverse aging too ever since I started working on myself, like, and upgrading my DNA. Like,
amazing.
You should see what I used to look like. Like, I would look like beat up and like all this stuff. And
oh, really?
yeah, I mean, like, right now I'm tired. I have bags under my eyes, but like, I reversed age. People don't even recognize me from even like 3 years ago since I started upgrading my DNA.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I wasn't aging at the normal rate, but this is significant. But what's really interesting as well, I worked out what the voltage is when people go into menopause. And if you raise the cellular voltage back past -60, then people's menopause is reversing. I've got a couple of people whose menopause is completely reversing. Like my friend Karen, who's my front. Sorry, that's front.
Okay.
Tough titties.
Good.
Yes. So my good friend Karen was for over a year, she had all these menopause problems. So her period went like inconsistent. The texture was weird. The days were strange. The whole thing was a bit strange, but she just ended up losing her life force. She had no energy to be doing anything. And we did the cellular regeneration stuff on her, and she suddenly got her life force back. She's able to like train like crazy and be able to get on with her divorce that she hadn't done, and get on with all these different things that she hadn't done. And she's suddenly back to who she was before. And her cycles, so she missed one cycle, so over a year. So she missed one cycle. So you don't count as menopause until you've had a whole year without a cycle, but she only missed one. So she's perimenopausal. So, but then after I did the cellular regeneration, as soon as I'd done it, immediately her cycle came back to the 28 days, and she's had 4 periods since. And that's perfect. I had another lady, Lise, who, these are all, you can watch these videos on my YouTube, Divinely Empowered. You'll find it there. So if you want to get people's testimonies from Lisa, from Lise, from Karen, and from the other one I'm about to tell you about, Mel. Anyway, so Lise misinterpreted what I was trying to tell her about the cellular voltage and the increase in the cellular voltage, bless her. And because I said, all right, we've raised it up to 333 minus 333, and she's so she thought it was embodied at 333, and it isn't. It's not embodied. It takes a while. I'm not embodied at that yet. It's still trickling down and into my system. But she thought it was embodied at that. So she just thought, right, I'm going to come off all of my supplements. She was spending hundreds of dollars a month on supplements. She was on HRT. She was on all these different things. And she thought, all right, I'm just going to come off everything, which I wouldn't recommend. And I really wouldn't recommend doing that. Wean your way off stuff under supervision of a doctor if you're under all these different things. Yeah. And she didn't. And she ran out of the HRT stuff like earlier in the year. And then she had terrible symptoms. She felt absolutely awful when she just came off them without any other, just because she ran out. So she decided to come off them and come off all of her supplements. And then she suddenly had so much energy. She's like running and she was sort of a bit homebound, and now she's back to being an athlete, and she's doing huge cycles and running and everything else. She's literally got the energy back that she had in her, like when she was in her 30s. I've taken 20 years, given her the life force that she had 20 years ago, and immediately, literally immediately at the end of the session, she stopped taking all of those pharmaceuticals and supplements and everything else. So that was
what she deserves too. You know what I mean? That's what she deserves.
Yeah, but it's just, it doesn't happen. This is an
No,
impossibility.
it doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah.
You're right.
So she's got her life back. There
That's
was another
amazing.
lady. What?
That's amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
So
I'm happy for her. Like,
she's excited.
Yeah. Question. Can you do anything with eyesight?
Hang on a minute. So I'm going to tell you about Mel first. So
Okay.
the last one I'm going to tell you about is this lady, Mel, who's the one I'm being released later. And her osteoarthritis has gone within 6 days.
Wow.
So she said that she went on this big, I think it was a 9-kilometer walk. And she just realized when she got home, she realized that she didn't have any pain. She'd have quite bad pain. And the doctor said she has severe osteoarthritis and there's no sign of it anymore. And that was in one session. That was gone. It possibly was gone before the 6 days. But we don't know that because she just hadn't paid attention to it. So it might have been gone before then. She wasn't sure. But yeah, that's pretty exciting. Eyesight, onto your question, people's eyesight is improving because it seems to go to the place which is the worst first. So Karen, her vision is improving. So a few people have noticed their vision improving. It goes to the weakest point in people's bodies and goes and increases the voltage. It's basically our voltage decreases as we age.
Right.
So it's so the voltage changes, it just decreases as we age, which is a kind of a pain. So when we, at different ages, it's different stages. So I just bring you back to having the energy that you had. Like, you can build a whole person from when you're in the womb. You can build an entire person. So I reckon we can build the whole thing and rebuild the whole thing of our bodies, and we should be regenerating. So if you raise the voltage high enough, anything should be able to be regenerated. So my sessions now are doing the cellular regeneration in addition to working with the emotional stuff for people. And then lots of magic happens, lots and lots of things are getting fixed, and it's just really quite profound and exciting. And I teach all of this. It's on my book.
That's amazing. Yeah, you've helped so many people,
a lot.
So many people, heal so many people and teach them how to heal themselves too, right? Like, because
all my classes are all online, because basically I've got students all over the world, or practitioners all over the world. The problem is getting the UK time zone, the Australian and the American time zone working together. I mean,
it's challenging.
All of the Americans. It's a problem. So I just started recording my classes so people can literally sit in their pajamas with a cup of coffee or whatever, or cocoa, and just watch these classes and get superpowers and awaken their abilities and just get more and more abilities as they progress up the classes. It's really fun. So my students, I've got my practitioners now are almost ready to be doing it. We're changing the website, which is going to be launched in another week or so. And then they'll all be doing the cellular regeneration as well. So lots of people, because I just think there's huge demand for it. It's just helping so many people get their lives back, and in a way that is just unimaginable. It's miraculous. It's amazing.
Yeah. And they deserve that. Like, we're like, that's like our natural self, we lose ourselves.
Oh, we totally do as we get older, and it's just giving people their lives back. I think it's the most valuable thing in the world. Like, if you think about just anything, the most important thing is really health. Like, a billionaire sitting on a super yacht would give up his houses and his everything else to just have good health. Like, it is the most valuable thing in the world.
Yeah, mental health, physical health, like all of it. Like, you want to feel good every day. We're not here to feel bad. We didn't come here for that.
And it's just nothing else matters when you're in physical pain, for example, or your mental health is just just in a mess in whatever capacity, like it just doesn't matter. Nothing else matters apart from the fact that you're stuck in this really dark situation. No matter how much you've got, no matter how much material wealth you've got, it's like it doesn't matter anymore. It's just the fact that you're miserable. And there's a lot of people who are very wealthy who are very unhappy because they're in bad health. It doesn't really matter. It's just health is the most important thing that there is.
Absolutely. I concur, sister. Aw.
What do you want to do about my chart? Tell me about my chart.
Oh, so I don't have it in my phone. I thought I put it in, but I don't have it. I have to run it, and then we're gonna have to do another one. A private session. We're gonna have to do a private session where I go through your chart. I thought I put it in, but when we were messaging about it, I guess I really thought I put it in.
Do you want to email it to you quickly now?
Well, either way, like I have a system that I use, so I don't really know which like astrology they use. Like there's a lot of different types of astrology. So I would have to put it into my system, and just in the essence of time.
Oh, okay. Do another time.
Yeah. But we're gonna have to do a little private sesh.
I'm up for a little private sesh, girl.
Me too. And honestly, I think you're amazing, and I can't wait to be in the UK with you. We laughed so hard, and we were laughing today too. And I love your energy, my Scorpio sister.
Yeah. So yeah, if anyone's interested in learning how to do all these magical things, and just check out my website, divineempowerment.com. I'm very active on my YouTube. Go and investigate, go and find out about all these people that I've spoken about and hear their testimonies, because that's the compelling thing. It's one thing me saying their stories, but watching their own stories and looking how excited they are about what's been happening to them. That's where really you get it when you actually see other people talking about it. Everything's on divineempowerment.com, or as I said, my YouTube, which is Divine Empowerment, or Antonia Harmon. Do loads of things on Instagram, but I think the long play on YouTube is really, or I'm on Rumble and Telegram and BitChute as well, so you can find me on any of the networks. And
signed up for Healerverse today too, so
yes, we're gonna sign up. I put my assistant on that, so that's gonna be helpful. But I really do think that the magic's within, and we are magic. We just need to learn that we're magic, and reawaken our divine abilities, our divine empowerment. And we've got abilities, and we can live a happy life. We don't have to be suffering ongoing. Like, reality isn't real, everyone. Reality isn't real. Like, it really isn't. So I think it's really interesting to just start pushing boundaries and actually helping people fix different diseases and really becoming who they were supposed to be. My school's an enlightening school. I'm very careful about the word enlightenment, because my grade is so frigging high for enlightenment. Like, I can do instant healing of various different illnesses, and I'm still a long way from being enlightened. I don't think I'm anywhere near that. I really don't, because it's literally, do you have mastery of solid liquid gas? Nope. No, sister, you're not enlightened. Can I walk on water? Nope. Well, can't.
Amazing. I can't wait to read your book. I'm gonna order it.
Yes, my book. Let's talk about that. So my book is available on Amazon in the UK if you want to get the hard copy, or have it. You have to have it shipped in if you want to get the hard copy. It's only available in the UK unless you buy it by import. It is on Kindle, and it's on Audible, and I do the recording. I do the voiceover for it, so you can hear my lovely voice.
And you're fun. So I want it with your voice.
It's nice
with you.
It's nice doing that. So that was fun to record that in the recording studio. So we did that. So that was cool. So you can get that and learn all about the different healing modalities. I tried to make this book so it's sort of entry level in some aspects. I want to have it so it's accessible for a lot of people who are new to spirituality. Plus, it's got some really advanced stuff in it as well. The advanced chapters are really the manifesting one and the solid liquid gas one, because it goes into more detail about what I was speaking about, the solid liquid gas and manifesting and how it really works. And then there are other ones which are just like lots of interesting things about spiritualism and spiritual evolution.
Amazing. Yeah. So definitely get her book and follow Antonia. We love Antonia. And Antonia, thank you so much for taking the time out. You are so much fun and I love you.
You are so much fun.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see like all the things that you do and all the people that you heal and all the things. Thank you.
All the things.
I'm like this. Oh my God, all the things. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.